Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today I'm answering a Dear Ruth Theresa question. So the question is, Dear Ruth Theresa, is my anxiety coming from me or is it amplified by other people around me? I will say that is the most amazing question I've answered in a long time. And yes, sometimes when we are around someone else, we will amplify their own energy, their own anxiety or issues or fears or whatever it is. So when we're kind of like, if you think about it, we're all energetic people. So whenever we're sending out our vibes to everyone else, our vibes kind of come across other people's vibes and it comes back to us. And a lot of times, when you're around someone who really makes you nervous, it's because not only are you nervous to meet them, but they're nervous to meet you, and now you're doubly amplified in the crazy part of like, oh my gosh, and that's the crazy part about it. And so it doesn't mean that you have to do anything particular, but it's one of those learning how to control your abilities will really help you in this area. So many times people are like, oh my gosh, she's the cutest girl ever, and whenever I get around her, I can't talk, or I say the craziest stuff and it doesn't make any sense, or I can't really walk anymore. Well, because she's anxious too, or she's nervous as well. And so your nervousness attaches to her nervousness and it bounces back to you, and now you're double or triply excited and nervous and anxious or whatever it is, and it's just adding to it. So that's kind of one of the main things to understand is if you're not removing that energy or learning how to control your abilities, then you're going to amplify everybody else's. And I see this a lot, especially with my younger clients that are in class, because we're going to take you back to school. So have you ever had your teacher walk in and go, okay, everybody clear off your desk, roll out one piece of paper and a pencil or a pen, and we're going to take a pop quiz, and you're like, and everybody's thought is like, oh my gosh, I read the homework. Did I read it enough? Should I read it one more time? Everybody's nervous about it, right? And so that psychic child that doesn't have control of their abilities yet is going to be like on the roof, like in anxiousness and just overwhelmedness, because they're going to be feeling it from everybody around them. And so they're the one that's going to amplify it, and then they just won't be able to control. And usually I will say that's the child that everybody goes, oh, they have ADHD, or they can't control their inhibitions, or they can't control themselves, or whatever else. It may not be that. What it could be is that they're picking up everybody else's anxiety, and now they don't know what to do with it. It's one of those, I have seen a lot of my clients that are teachers will bring in salt lamps into the classroom, and that can help a lot. Oh my gosh, it can help a lot, especially putting it near or around the child that's usually the most anxious, the one that like everything's, oh, they're ADHD. It's one of those because you put it around them, and that's kind of referring or kind of deflecting some of that anxious energy, and now that child is calm, cool, and collected. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I had a teacher friend of mine who did that, and she was like, I don't think so. And I said, okay, try it for 2 weeks. And gave her a salt lamp, and I said, take it to your classroom, put it in your classroom, and gave her the bulbs, told her where to put it compared to where this child is. And she was like, oh my gosh. The first day she texted me halfway through class was like, this is a different child. Like, oh my gosh, like this child is amazing. And I was like, because now they're not picking up everybody else's anxious energy. They're not picking up everybody else's nervous energy. Or did I do enough homework? Did I do this? Did I do that? And it's just calm, cool, and collected. And she was just like, oh my gosh. And she actually made this, I want to say like this was a couple of months ago. So she actually had the child, like when they did a fire drill, they were going to do a fire drill in a couple of days. And she was like, I want to make sure that our salt lamp goes outside with us. And so they had practiced this a couple of times. When the fire drill goes off, leave everything at your desk. That's what you're supposed to do. And you're supposed to line up. Well, there was a pet in the classroom. I think it was a lizard or something like that. And so, each week it was, if there was a fire drill or when they went out, they took the lizard with them. And so this child got to take the salt lamp with him. So she taught him how to turn it off, how to unplug it, and wrap up the cord and carry out the salt lamp. World of difference. Last time they had a fire drill, this child was doing like cartwheels down the hallways, could not control their energy because everybody was so excited. Now they're going to be outside. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And this child is like one of the worst. And then all of a sudden now he's got this job of dealing with this salt lamp that he's already fallen in love with, loves so much, and he's carrying it out there. And she said basically he stood in line the whole time just holding his salt lamp. And we're talking like it's a 15-pound salt lamp, and was just like, I love this salt lamp, like literally sitting there petting the salt lamp, of just amazing energy. Completely different child, and all it took was being around a salt lamp. That's kind of the amazing stuff that can happen when you realize what the anxiety is, how people deal with it differently, and how to kind of really get control over it. So let's also do some angel cards and get us more information of am I feeling the anxiety, and could it be my intuition? Well, let's do some angel cards here. So I've got two popping out of here at first. The first one is power. When we realize it's our own power and we have control over it, it changes the whole world. When she started talking to this child and their mom was like, oh my gosh, he just loved your salt lamp. And she goes, yes, this is the kind of salt lamp that you need to get. And this is the color bulbs. And he literally has like 4 or 5 different salt lamps all over the house. And his mom said it has made a world of difference for him, of just keeping him calm, cool, and collected, easygoing. And not that he's still not excited at times about everything, but he's not out of control. That was the part that was overwhelming his family. Children have psychic abilities, but usually they don't have the training or the ability to kind of research it or kind of get that thing. And so this is where it comes in for the parent. The parent has to do it. The parent has to figure out, what kind of child do I have? How can I support this child as they work their way through all of this? And because giving them those life skills when they're younger are going to make them great adults when they get older. Playfulness. This can be something that you can play around with. Salt lamps of different coloring, anywhere from like a deep orange to a light color like a light pink or a light orange, all the way into the white salt lamps, and then changing out and playing with the color of bulb that you put in there. It's basically just a Christmas light. It's nothing fancy or anything else. So the different colors are going to calm a child down or amp the child up. And it really depends on where it is. I would say in the living room, maybe that's something you want to kind of amp the child up. In the bedroom, that would be something I would calm the child down. So kind of as they get ready for bed, it's now we're getting calm. Now we're getting more relaxed and easygoing instead of just amplifying all of this energy all the time. Balance. There is a balance to this. This is really a great time to kind of follow that balance energy of, my child has these abilities. How can I balance that with knowledge? How can I find out more? Because a lot of times, because the abilities the parents have are not the same as the child. Everybody has their abilities differently, and what amps up for one may not amp up for the other one. And it's really important to kind of amp up that energy so that you're supporting that child. So even if it's not your abilities, you can help them learn that. The next one is, this one is truth and integrity, and telling a child. I think that's really important. A lot of times parents will say, well, I don't understand that, or I don't see ghosts. Well, but maybe you could explain it a little bit differently. I don't see ghosts. That's not my ability. Apparently, it's your ability. So you have to tell me what you see so we can fix it or adjust it or modify it. Or together, we can learn how to do this together. That's a great way to combat that. Not necessarily like, I don't see any of them, or I don't have that ability, because it makes them feel like you don't have any controls either. One of the things that's really important to do is kind of put that child in the driver's seat. You have to tell me what you're seeing, and then literally giving each of them names. Like, this one's named this, and this is the ghost I see here, or this is the ability, or I feel like I'm getting anxious. When they can feel it coming up in themselves, that's when they know that they can really control it. Using energy sprays or salts can really help combat a lot of that anxiety energy, and can really, really help them get in control of what is going on in and around them. Surrender and release. Best card ever is surrender and release. If you don't have an answer for it, let them know. Tell them straight out, I don't understand it. I don't have this ability, but I will do the research, and we will talk about it, and we will discuss it and what works best for you. And we may have to pick and try a couple of things before we find the one thing that works really, really well for you. Amazing. Doesn't mean you had to have all the answers, but you need to know where to look for those answers. That's the important part of being a parent, is maybe not always having the right answer, but being willing to find that right answer for your child. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.